The Illini do exactly what they're supposed to do on Sunday. And congratulations, Kylan Boswell.
You are Locked On Illini, your daily podcast on the Illinois Fighting Illini. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, welcome back to another post-game edition. This one's relatively stress-free. I can't imagine that there's going to be much complaining after this game. Quite honestly, this from the get-go just felt like it was a early Sunday jog. You know, just one of those games that you weren't really necessarily worried about at any point, which is exactly what we expected. There's always the concern when you have a younger team that, something could happen, but luckily today nothing did. Again, my name is Sunny Verma. You can find me on all your socials. Do a quick search for Locked On Illini. Send me a message, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, we're even on. All of those. Make sure you say hello, say something nice, say something not nice. Just know it's going to be me responding. Here I am again, producing content for you every single day. Again, a little bit more relaxed today. I can't imagine there's too much to complain about. But before I do get started, today's episode is brought to you by Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. So, there's not much to talk about here. The game was a glorified scrimmage today, and you can tell the game was just to kind of iron out details, little kinks that the team wants to work on, just because Chicago State plays, now please, I'm being very careful with the way I say this. Chicago State plays a similar style of defense that Oregon plays, in the sense where they like to switch on everything. So it was kind of like a glorified practice session for when the real Big Ten season starts, which I believe is Thursday night against Oregon. We're going to have coverage for that game. The first Big Ten, well, not technically the first Big Ten, but, one of the big marquee Big Ten games of the season for the Illini. They're going to be traveling to the West Coast. It's not going to be an easy matchup. It's going to be actually a very tough matchup. But I'm glad that, in some sort of ways, Illinois got to have a sweat-free game for once. They did exactly what the team is built to do, shooting 15 from 33 from three-point land. Sometimes you just need to see the ball go through the hoop, which is kind of what I talked about a lot in the preview for this game. Speaking of the preview of this game, I mentioned that I didn't want to see too many minutes played by our main guys, and for the most part, Castros played 23. Trey White played 16. Ben Hummerkaus played 19. Visic played 21. And that was kind of it. Like, Boswell played 32, but we know why Boswell played 32. Congratulations, Kylan Boswell. I feel like it's just been a matter of time. He's being celebrated by Illini fans because we've seen how integral he's been to this Illinois team so far. Arguably maybe the second most important player on the team right now. Elite defensively. He's, played a good off the ball on offense. His shot's not quite going in. Today he went 6 for 12. He's not shy about it, which is nice. But again, his line today, 18 points, 10 rebounds, 10 assists. Easily the player of the game today. I don't even know who else you could kind of talk about. But talking about on that, Ben Hummerkaus, I called out Ben Hummerkaus and Will Riley in the preview, hoping that we could get them shooting more. Will went 3 for 6 for 13 points, 4 rebounds. One says 21 points. Ben Hummerkaus, 3 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists on 1 for 4 shooting. So, not quite the performance that I wanted from Ben, but Ben still, it's too easy to pile on Ben right now. And I know that's just kind of what everyone wants to do. I see, and I hope, the more I keep bringing it up on other episodes, that you guys are kind of seeing at least what Brad sees on the court. It's not all about just hitting those open jump shots. That's what he's going to need to do in order to stay playing on this team, especially in Big Ten season. Obviously, Brad's letting him shoot himself out of this slump that he's in. But when it comes to the defensive metrics, I mean, all the analytics spin the narrative a lot more positive than we would perceive it to be from what we see on the defensive end. Quite honestly, and I know like people don't like numbers, and I'm not even saying this is the case, but almost every analytics says the Illini are a better defensive team when Ben Hummerkaus is on the floor, and that's for various reasons. And again, if I get access to Synergy, I can show you guys. I can do the tape with you guys on a late night stream. If anyone has access or a way to get that, please let me know. And, you know, I can kind of at least point out what the coach is looking at. But, you know, on the offensive side, regardless, 3 points on 4 shots is not what I wanted from Ben. You know, I would have much preferred him launching 11, 12 shots and just getting that shot going. The rebounding is not important for Chicago State for me. You know, the defense is not important. I knew we were going to blow them out regardless. Blow them out. We did. 117 to 64. We were on pace for most of this game to potentially break the all-time record for points. Didn't quite make it there, but, you know, again, this was just a stress-free game, which is good because Big Ten season is right around the corner. Kaspris, 14 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists. Let me know who is your player of the game. Okay, you know, that's not a good question. Kylan Boswell is everyone's player of the game, but tell me what you liked from this game. Tell me what maybe you didn't like so much from this game, because you know, we can't really critique them as if this was a normal basketball game. But is there something you were looking forward to seeing that you did see or did not see? I have something for you. Absolutely, I do, and I'll actually get to that right after this. Did Rocket Money help you find any subscriptions you forgot about or that you were paying for twice? That definitely happened to me. I had a few subscriptions that I didn't even realize I was still paying for, and Rocket Money made it so easy to track them all down. It's like having a personal assistant for your finances. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that helps find and cancel your unwanted subscriptions and monitors your spending and helps lower your bills so you can grow your savings. It brings everything together in one place, whether subscriptions, your spending habits, or even the goals you want to hit this year. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions, saving members up to $740 a year when using all of the app's premium features. Cancel your unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/lockedon today. That's rocketmoney.com/lockedon. rocketmoney.com/lockedon. All right. Simeon says, I was hoping to see Ben have more shots today. I wanted to see more Booth. I was happy to see Tommy and Morez play together. I talked about this in our Discord. Again, if you haven't joined the Discord yet, you absolutely should. We're talking Illini sports all day, every day. We saw the death lineup. Finally, I've been talking about this for almost over a month now, that I think that Illinois has a cheat code of a lineup that once it hits Big Ten season, that it's going to be very, very tough to stop. And of course, that's assuming Will Riley gets out of his slump. And that lineup is Boswell, Kasparis, Will Riley, Morez Johnson, and Tomislav Ivicic. That lineup got some run today, which again, you know, I do appreciate. I wonder the reasoning behind it. Is it Brad just finally realizing maybe that's something he should do, or he wants to play around with it? Or is it just one of those where he's always kind of had that in mind, and knowing this game was not something he had to really worry or concern himself about too much, he just kind of unleashed it right as we begin Big Ten play, just to see how the guys work together. Again, the lineup's only going to work if Will Riley's making his shots, because everyone else can fit their role and fits their role very well. By the way, Tomislav today, 23 points, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. He dominated that first half. I think he had 18 points. And Chicago State just had no answer for him. Chicago State had no answer for anyone else. Another guy I want to bring up that brings some positive attention to, is Jake Davis. I spent a couple minutes in that opening segment talking about how, the Ben Hummerkaus game was kind of lukewarm, considering what I wanted to see from him. But Jake Davis, again, his stat line doesn't look that great. 6 points, 3 rebounds in 13 minutes with a block. And oh my gosh, what a block that was. But I liked what I saw from Jake in the sense where, the same way I talked about Kerry Booth in the preview, like I wanted to see what kind of skill set Jake Davis brings in for the future team. Okay, I don't know if Jake's going to have a prominent role on this team. I know they're trying, obviously. I've talked about it on the show. To me, it might just be Brad's backup plan if Ben Hummerkaus just does not figure it out when it comes to shooting threes. We need somebody in that lineup shooting 3-pointers and having that ball go in. And so but what I saw from Jake Davis today was a guy who was playing his butt off on defense. He was making 3-pointers. He was 2 for 4 from 3-point land. And, just like an all-out hustle, which is what you want from those type of guys in a game like this, right? Jake played 13 minutes today. And it's games against Chicago State when you want a guy like Jake. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, another guy who I had in mind. 18 minutes he played. He had 16 points in 18 minutes. And that's what you want. You want your guys who are, look, they may not be getting much playing time on this basketball team, but those guys would easily be starters on Chicago State. And those guys themselves would dominate Chicago State. And that's kind of what they did. But back to my original point before I get to more of the comments. I like what I saw from Jake Davis today. And, it's one of those where I still don't think, if he's playing a big role on this basketball team this season, Illinois is obviously switching up strategies a little bit. I don't think he should be a key to this basketball team this season, but I like his potential for next year. Now, it's hard to think about next year with the way roster turnover is nowadays, but he, I think, can absolutely be a key guy. The role that we wanted Luke Goody to be the past couple of years, just a good 3-man off the bench who, give him another year with Fletch. That's always the key, right? Getting a year with Fletch. I really like what I saw from Jake Davis. Dre Gibbs Lawhorn, who I just mentioned, potential dunk of the year, as Jason says right here. That Gibbs Lawhorn dunk was insane and kind of exactly what we needed, right? That was kind of almost the exclamation mark to this basketball game. I think ultimately the exclamation mark was Kutcher's 3-pointer giving Kylan that triple-double, which everyone was rooting for. It's pretty funny. Those of you who watched the game, I think with 2 minutes left, Brad Underwood was about to sub out Boswell. And I don't know if it's a crowd or if it's one of the guys in the coaching staff who kind of basically had to let him know, hey, no, he's 1 assist away from triple-double. So Brad instead swaps out DGL and lets Kylan stay in. And it looked sketchy at first. I believe 90 seconds passed. 2 open jump shots that Kylan attempted to get for his 10th assist. Didn't go in, but finally Kutcher from the corner with about 20, 25 seconds left, was able to get Kylan a triple-double. And it's, in the game of college basketball, it's not like the NBA. Where in the NBA, triple-doubles happen every single night. I mean, at this point now, you have players averaging triple-doubles almost. In the college basketball game, it's still a special stat. It's still something that, you have to be extremely, extremely proud of. And again, Bazo with 18, 10, and 10. And it's wild because, of course, these should be celebrated, right? Triple-doubles, what I just got finished saying, these are rare, but I want to thank Ryan Easterling for this tweet. Crazy to think Illinois had less than a handful of triple-doubles in program history, but under Brad Underwood, I would assume who's done it twice now. Coleman Hawkins has done it. Marcus Domask did it last year. And now Kylan Boswell did it. And again, that just shows you the upgrade in talent that Brad has been bringing in compared to some of his predecessors. You can't get a triple-double in college basketball unless you're a good all-around player. And again, I'm just happy for Kylan because he's got, even now on social media, when you talk about the other guys where he came from, Arizona, they still don't talk very positively about Kylan, which I find very annoying. Honestly, maybe it's because Kylan's on my team now, but I don't know if the national narrative on Kylan is as positive as the one us Illinois fans feel. And I feel like a game like today, where now he's going to get some press. I've already seen the clips online on Twitter about Kylan getting his triple double. Once Big Ten season hits and he's shutting down some of the premier point guards in the conference, I really hope that he's going to start getting the love that he deserves. Because at this point, I mean, I guess there's too many good point guards in the Big Ten conference to be all conference, but he's certainly in the conversation. He's certainly in the honorable mention when it comes to that category. Jay, thanks for joining us. Says a stellar Booth game. Yeah, Booth. We have to have a conversation about. William says it here. Kerry Booth didn't look happy when he was on the bench. I've noticed that before too, and he doesn't seem to interact with the other guys much either. Wonder if he's going to stick around after March. Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between Kerry Booth and Ty Rodgers, right? Ty Rodgers is redshirted. He's not on this basketball team to play basketball, but he was as hyped as anybody during that DGL dunk. And he's in the middle of every huddle, of every conversation. Kerry Booth, I mean, people have pointed this out even in the post game, like when the players are, giving high fives to the fans on the way to the locker room. A lot of the players are optimistic, having fun, smiling, and Kerry Booth just kind of high fives on his way to the locker room. Doesn't exactly look very happy. How much weight I'm going to put into that, I don't know, because I don't know Kerry Booth. I don't know his personality type, right? But if for those body language doctors out there, of which I know we all like to pretend to be one. I mean, it doesn't look all that great. The fact that he played how many minutes today? 11 minutes today. Okay, 11 is actually more than I thought. I thought because at one point he was only like 4 or 5 minutes when I had checked earlier. He had no points, 4 rebounds, which is nice to see. 0 for 2. Shots wise, he was one of those who tried to get a shot up for Kylan to get his triple double. But clearly, I think that's probably if I had to come up with a disappointing take from this game, and I hate to do it, I don't want to do it, but it's Kerry Booth. I released a short on all the social medias. Again, I hope you're following me on Locked On Illini, where I talk about it's like if there's a chance for Kerry Booth to play, this game has to be it. We need to know whether he's going to be a contributor during Big Ten season. Otherwise, we just have an 8-man, maybe even 7-man rotation. Is Kerry Booth in that rotation or not? All that talk earlier on in the season or in the preseason where we're talking about, hey, Kerry Booth is showing up on NBA draft boards. And, he was a big reason that we're talking about, hey, this might be the most talented team Illinois has had in a very long time. We're not seeing it. And more importantly, obviously, the coaching staff is just not seeing it. How content he is, obviously, the body language doesn't look good. And it didn't look good today, though I'm glad we got to see him get some run. But that's certainly going to be one of those situations where we're just going to have to monitor. I do remember one offensive sequence where he just lost the ball. So the guy obviously needs to gain weight. That's clear as day that this guy needs another summer with Fletch, but I just don't know, as William said, if he's going to get that opportunity. We'll talk a little bit more right after this. Jason says he notices as well. William, I noticed that too about Booth and know he will not be here next year. Jason, I'm not going to go that far. Again, I just don't know, but you can tell when it comes to chemistry, whatever it is, he's kind of the odd man out right now. Jake Davis looks awkward out there, but he's trying. And, I have a lot more faith in his ability to contribute on next year's team than this year's team. But Jay follows up. I have zero faith for Booth after this game. Didn't have much before. There's usually a reason why a dude never plays. Yeah, that's why I'm kind of disappointed, right? He was a pretty big pickup for us over the offseason. Again, the guy started 19 games for Notre Dame. Notre Dame's a pretty good program when it comes to basketball. Former 4-star. But I don't know if it's a weight issue, if it's a trying issue. like what it is. And we're never going to hear from Brad. One of the things that we, love and hate about Brad Underwood is like he's always going to stick up for his players. So this is just one of those things that's maybe something going on behind the scenes. I highly doubt Kerry Booth came over here to play just a few minutes a game. He could have probably taken a scholarship somewhere else, or even gone down a level and started. So, I mean, again, I'm as unsure as anybody. I don't know. I wish I had more answers for you. Simi says, Kansas State fan not treating Coleman right, although he's their best player. I know why he left. However, I wish he would have stayed with us. We would have been top 5 if we had Coleman. That's right, Simi. I talked about this in our my episode, I think on Friday. Coleman would have been the perfect 4 on this team. But, he did what he had to do. He got his bag. He played 4 years for the Illini. In my opinion, he's on the Mount Rushmore of Illini since the year 2000. Recent memory, whatnot. He's still talking about the Illini all day on his social media. So he's watching the games. He's cheering on the football team. That's all you can really ask for. Like I'm sure, again, I talked about, I think I said this exactly. If you injected truth serum in both Brad and Coleman, they both wish that he was still in Champaign. I think that's going to wrap it up for today. Again, there's just not much to talk about. This was a glorified scrimmage. Illinois took care of business. I'm getting ready for Monday's episode. We're going to be previewing a little bit of that Oregon game. Big Ten season starts back up. So we'll have a brand new power rankings for you. Let me know your thoughts on this game, on anything. We've got content every single day. All right. Tuesday, of course, is the bowl game. If you're in the Texas, Austin area, I think I'll be meeting at the official meetup. So come say hello to your boy. If you know anyone in Austin, tell them to come up to me and say hi. But regardless, I'll be previewing the game for Tuesday's episode. We got a lot of content here. That's what I do here at Locked On Illini. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, share this amongst all your other Illini fans. Just know I appreciate all of you. And until next time, ILL, love you guys.